Wholeness. Welcome to my channel. This is Rasheedah Silvertree here. Wholeness to everyone. Welcome to this message, this transmission for the new moon of October 2023. As we leave an old cycle and we enter into a new one. And by the time you receive this message, it'll hopefully give you time to reflect, to ponder, to go inward, and to internalize certain aspects with this question that I will ask. So, before I get started into this reading for October 2023, the new moon for October 23 with my wood medicine here, I just want to clarify that with my energy readings, I'm going to just try out certain systems that would be the best and I think the simplest way to go about reading and delivering these messages for you, because I believe that the most important thing we can do is to keep things simple, okay? So today I'm going to pick, or actually the energies will, show themselves and reveal themselves to me in the energy of five runes, okay? I'm gonna say runes because that's the most, I think, relatable way I can go about expressing this beautiful medicine of the wood, of the tree. And so 5 is it's the number of change. It is the number of movement. It is the number of the wheel, I will say, the medicine wheel that we have within ourselves. And so with this new system, in time I will pose a question for the human collective, and and allow these readings to be very free-flowing, and so let's just see. I pulled one in particular. I have my white sage burning in the corner there. I love burning white sage. It's something that it's very uplifting, it's very grounding, it's very purifying. And I also have a candle burning somewhere in the room. I know where it is. I shouldn't say somewhere. It's not a fire hazard. But I just wanted to make sure I had enough space for the reading. So I decided, I had no question to pose, but for source, but I did pull one in particular, as you can see here. I call this the rune of chaos, the rune of energy manipulation. As you can see, it looks like electrons, neutrons, protons, atoms. It's alchemical. And that was the center of what I chose. And so just to give you a very basic layout for you here, I'm going to start off with a timeline, okay? Now, we're in the month of September. September is a transitional month. It is the end of summer and the beginning of the fall, okay? The end of heat and the beginning of cool. Things begin to expel heat, all right? There's an explanation of energy, of heat, of fire, of warmth that we've captivated throughout the summer. Our nights become longer, our days shorter. The weather changes, things begin to go through their life-death life cycle. And so here I see just change. This is this is chaos. This is energy in motion, okay? Emotion, if you will. And this is what we're facing right now. There's a lot of things that we are alchemizing throughout the day based off of our energy vortex, our mind, mental body, our emotional heart body, and our physical vehicle, okay? Our physical material body. And so this is what is taking place throughout our world, throughout this reality. We're in movement. Things are moving. I get a sense of like a baking a cake, if you will. And this is our present, okay, in our timeline, because time is cyclical in the space of all that is. It is not linear, but in our realm, how we make sense in our reality is past, present, future. So I'm going to pull an energy, a wood energy, a rune that will share a bit about like what we've gone through as a collective in the past, okay? In our past will be here, okay? So what is connecting us to our past? And this explanation of the timeline, our past, present, and future, is a good way to explain how a situation has developed over time, how we got here, and where we are headed. So here we go. Okay, I'm pulling this here, the rabbit. There we go, with the ears. It's looking back, okay? The rabbit to me is very symbolic of all, it's very nature focused. Okay, it's very, very nature focused, very close to the earth, all right. Very sensitive, as you can see. You can see the bunny ears there and the face looking back, okay. And here, so I guess in our past as a collective, we're very nostalgic. The word nostalgia comes up very strongly. There's a strong sense of nostalgia of looking back, but then also moving forward at the same time. And given I would have to say the array that we're in as a collective with our global economy, our global food source, our global way that we telecommunicate with each other, our global and collective way on how we interact with each other and in our world in our present day is very, very chaotic. It's constant distraction. If you look closely here, you can see the hands pulling up and down from left to right, from the bottom of our feet. We're distracted from with our bodies. We're distracted with the foods that we consume or lack thereof. We're distracted from the head. Our mind body is pulled, we're distracted looking, and our minds are everywhere else and not in the present moment. We're pulled to the past, we're pulled to the present, and we're standing right there. And see that dark little black dot there in the middle? We're standing in the middle through it all the while we're like in this weird entrapment. And so when we take a look at our past, because the rabbit is also innocence, but it's also prey. We have become prey to a lot of our decisions and a lot of storylines and a lot of, I would say, paradigms, conditioning, and this is where we're at now. Innocence and ignorance can be taken for granted. It can be taken advantage of. And I mentioned before in the last reading that I did, okay, and that was a kind of a general reading of the next few months per se, but please be flexible in how I organize these readings. Just take the readings as they come to you. I will say I mentioned the word maturity, and one thing that keeps the common theme that keeps coming up through these energy readings for you, my dear collective, is our connection to the rise of technocracy, the rise of the technological advancements, okay, with how we consume artificial intelligence, how our digital devices have integrated into our lives. We've integrated them into our lives. Our ignorance of them and our innocence, I feel like has been taken away, and we're like a rabbit going down a hole. We don't know how deep that hole goes. No one really knows. We don't have the research per se. We probably have a couple of decades, maybe 15 years of how our society is being affected by our current relationship with in our digital world. Okay, so that is what I'm picking up from our past, and our past decisions as a collective has put us in this place now. So our decision could be from probably, let's say, I'm thinking much longer than just October 2022. I'm thinking probably October 2012, okay, or October 2002. Cyclical time isn't just straightforward. Cyclical time, a cyclical energy, a cyclical calendar is things like to repeat themselves over and over and over and over until it plays out, until it can be no more. But ever so often, and the word I'm hearing is trend. It's very trendy, okay? Like someone keeps hitting the reset button, and the more we keep the they keep hitting the reset button, the more we get really tied up in our own chaos. Let's take a look at how our future will develop from where we've been, where we are, okay? And where we will be. So I'm pulling another energy now. Manifestation. The full moon. Very active energy. Full moon energy is very, very, very active, okay? It's an accumulation of when we are, for those of you who practice, energy manipulation, people, who feel very pulled to the feminine energy, the left-hand path, whatever path that may be, those of you who feel this calling from the moon to work with the moon energy, you know that the new moon we pull in, right? We absorb a lot of energies, okay? We absorb a lot of energies during that new moon phase. We focus in, and we become very magnetic, all right? It's almost like we're a power up, right? We clarify what we desire to manifest on this full moon. And then when that full moon comes, it's more of a release. It's more of a celebration to what we've received. It's more of a recognition of gratitude, of a highlight. Things are incredibly, all that charge is then expelled. Like I think of something like a very orgasmic energy, right? It's very climactic. And so in the month of October, looking here in our present moment of chaos and everything, and it's almost like we're at a disarray and everything's kind of unorganized, and resetting itself for the new season, which makes sense. It's very transitional. But in the month of October, just be aware, try to be aware, okay, of your intentions, okay? That 5 energy can be quite complex. All right, so we have our timeline here. So here we have innocence and ignorance, and our past can help us mature, and it helps us to, through those painful lessons in our past, can help us mature and to alchemize and to become that alchemist, to help the things that have set us back due to our ignorance and innocence can make us stronger alchemists of our reality. of being able to manipulate our reality, of being in ebb and flow. And actually, the most important thing I can state about being in the space of maturity is knowing that not everything that which you desire will manifest the way you want it to. Not everything is fair. Not everything is just. And the most important thing, the secret of being mature, is to learn how to be in flow of that in this present moment of disarray and chaos. And so, it's so odd, trying to, because I can't tell you when exactly and what exactly, but I will say this: when it comes to a future full moon, your future, anything in which you're choosing to focus in on to manifest in your upcoming reality or in your timeline, be careful of it. Be mindful of it. I believe in wish fulfillment. I do. We always attract what we desire, what we need, what we want. That's our birthright. No one can take that away from us. It is up to us, though, to learn how to be that alchemist and how to manipulate our energies and our way and through our perception. But I sense that there's a good opening to manifest what you truly desire in this upcoming new moon in October. So really use this last bit of September to solidify your intentions for this upcoming season. I do believe we already, I think with the switching of the clocks, spring ahead, fall back, so we lose an hour, okay, because we have to, shift. We have to go with the shift of the seasons and of the cycles. Our bodies have to readjust. Our circadian rhythms have to readjust. And this is why I love living in places and spaces, in my country or wherever I travel with 4 seasons. Because with the 4 seasons, it's almost like a constant reminder of the life-death life cycle, of the alchemy around us. There's something really beautiful of being able to see a tree go through the 4 seasons of life and still stand firm and strong, battered by stormy winds, losing strong branches, sustaining life around it, feeding the squirrels and giving homes to the birds and allowing the ants and all of the creatures, feed its roots somehow and the fungi that grow around it. It's a beautiful thing to observe a tree. And that's where I love where I am, and that's where, wherever you or we end up, allow yourself to be. Allow yourself to observe the seasons and shifts and changes around you. And also to tie the future to the past. Anything that was of innocence and ignorance, the lessons of innocence and ignorance that were not learned in the past will manifest yet again. Okay? They will come around again, as they always do. Here's another message for you. Your perception of your reality is key, my dear collective. Your perception of reality is key. Now, let's choose the 4th rune. Let's see what is the ego or the subconsciousness that influences us in this present moment. What is the super ego, I should say, of the collective, and how is it subconsciously influencing us as a collective? Okay, here we are. Oh, very nice. Over time, I will name these runes too. when it is time to do so, when they shall be named. Okay. So I'm going to call this, that's the wolf rune. The wolf is our guide, is our teacher. It is a predator as well. It is a loner, but it also can work in groups. So with all that said, let's try to simplify it. So with wolf energy, you have the leader, but then you have a follower. You have a loner, but then you have someone who can play and frolic in a group and in the community. You have a very flexible energy, but it's also a very mature energy. Because here's the thing, when the wolf goes off and breaks from the pack, it must be able to have the maturity and the experience and the guts and the strength and the independence to be alone. Aloneness, solitude is not for the faint of heart. It's hard sometimes. Loneliness will be tested. Your loyalty to yourself during solitude will be tested. On the other hand, we have as a collective that need to be part of, to be together, to commune with each other. Both of these sides is what the wolf brings. It brings everything full circle here, as you can see, because the wolf and the rabbit, okay? Yes, the rabbit is the prey, and yes, the wolf is the predator. But if you look at the spiritual attributes of both of these energies and how they work together, you have the innocence and the ignorance of the rabbit. And that rabbit's quite, with that, there's anxiety and fear. And then with the wolf, you have someone who's very strong, very sovereign, very sure. And they may not be able to, not all wolves can lead the pack, right? You have everyone has a specific role to play. But I'm talking about that wolf. He's not the alpha, he's not the beta. I think they call him the Sigma or something like that, according to science or, National Geographic. But the wolf is the teacher, but because you learn so much on that journey by yourself. When the wolf breaks off from the pack, when he returns to the pack, he brings back knowledge learned, expressed, through all the journeys and trials and tribulations, through the threat of starvation, and wolves are it's a beautiful medicine and energy and spirit to connect with, because they know how to suffer. They know how to go through those seasons of starvation with the pack, and they know how to go through that season of starvation alone. They're very, very adaptable. And this, I feel like, is what's influencing us. Please be able to adapt. Because what is manifesting for us in the near future, okay, starting in October with that new moon energy that's being brought in, what's beginning to manifest in that new cycle, which I like to call the season of fire, okay, because it's winter where I'm from in the northern hemisphere. It's important, okay? It's important. So let's take a look at the advice from I like to call the heavens, from source, from our love energy beings. Okay, there's so many names for the love energy beings. I just know that people call them spirit guides, people call them angels, people call them all kinds of different things, and Pleiadians and all that other stuff. I simply just call them love energy beings because that's all they say when I connect with them, and when they connect with me. I just feel love. I feel love, love, love. And so whatever that may be for you, let's check in and pull our final energy for that. Okay, so this is it. Okay, this is what I pulled. Wow. So when I pulled this, I heard Fleetwood Mac's "You Can Go Your Own Way." You can go your own way, go your own way. And it's pretty much, it's destiny. It's destiny. It's almost like we're choosing our own fate. And it's like you're whatever we choose, because if you take a closer look here in this energy, you see 1, 2, 3, you see 3 different paths leading to the end of the road. There's something there, right? But it's leading all back to source. Then if you take a step back, you see the man, you see a stick figure, you see mankind, womankind. And so this is what our love energy beings want to share with us, what the heavens want to share with us, what our higher selves want to share with us, the higher self of humanity, the human collective, okay? God, source. You can go your own way, okay? Meaning you choose. We can all individually choose how we perceive our reality. And with this, oh, and by the way, this is called the four-fold wheel, okay? This is a system based off of Odin's system of rune divination, which I feel called to. I have a connection to Odin, the god Odin, and I don't want to get into it right now. Maybe when I feel led to, but and that's probably what pulled me to create these, but I'll get into that. Odin is a Norse god connected to the northern old ancient tribes of Scandinavia, which, it's very interesting. But anyway, but this system deals with the present, the past, the future, the subconscious the egoic subconscious mind, okay, that influences us in the present day. And then we have the advice, the guidance, the higher guidance of the heavens and our higher consciousness on a higher soul level, okay? And we also want to be kind of careful about the high and the low and the ascending and descending, because it's also very dualistic. It splits us, right? So it's all just source, okay? Light, dark, happy, sad, male, female, feminine, masculine. It is 2 sides of the same coin. So we must not forget that. But going our own way is just being, actually, it's almost like when I hear the song "You Can Go Your Own Way," it's almost like it's a breakup song written by Fleetwood Mac. And that whole album is called, I believe, Rumors. I'm not quite sure, but it was a very tumultuous time for the band, because they were going through a lot of breakups and relationship stuff. But it was one of their first albums that they recorded together. There's a lot of drama happening between the band members, and so a lot of it was the songs that they wrote together were very cathartic. So it's almost like we're being pulled to just allow yourself to completely engulf in where you want to be. Allow this transition to be cathartic. We have this obsession of wanting to achieve, wanting the bigger, better thing. I want a better house. I want a better car. I want a better career. I want this. I want that. I want better, 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 better. There's nothing wrong with that. But this everlasting drive of just going after something, it's almost like a hamster. You're on a hamster wheel. And again, it's that 5 energy. You're just moving in place, going nowhere. Hurry up to get to nowhere fast. It's almost like you're in the middle of traffic, and this happens, a lot to everybody, but you have that one driver behind you, and they're honking at you, want you to go faster. Like today, I was driving today, and where I live in the US, you can't make a left turn on a red light. You can do so sometimes on the right, but you cannot on the left. And so this person, I don't know if it was a female or male, but this person was just hunked at me. And I'm like, the light was red. And so I just sat and I chilled. I'm like, no, I'm gonna, for my safety, for his safety, for everybody's safety, I'm gonna chill here for a moment and let the light change. The light changed, and he turned behind me, but then he zipped real fast, right around me, and then cut in front of me. But then guess what? Another red light, right? So this constant need, it's almost like a rat race. This is what I'm saying here. You can go your own way. You can go at your own pace and your own speed. We're all going to end up there in the end. We just don't know how, and we don't know what kind of ending. But we're all getting there, no matter what. So yeah, my journey with Silvertree runes, and I'm saying the runes of Silvertree again because I don't want to disrespect the tradition of the Norse runes, right? But these are the things that came up. This is, I feel like, how the tree medicine wanted to show itself in my life. I've always loved trees. And so with this, Silvertree rune system, energy system here that I have, I just want it to be easy and comprehensible for you all. So just bear with me and just continue on this journey with me. May this message find you well and whole. Again, choose to expand your consciousness, choose to evolve your human being, and choose to embrace supreme loving guidance always. That is the meaning of my name, Rasheedah, that my mother, the mother of my heart, gifted to me when I arrived into this realm, when I arrived into this world. And Silvertree, well, you look up the definition of what silver and tree is and allow the meaning of this name speak to you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will most certainly see you soon again, and Merry New Moon. Thank you.